Hello and welcome to Assembly Update. I'm Angelo Santabarbara, representative for the 111th Assembly District, which includes Montgomery, Schenectady, and parts of Albany County. Today we have with us Mel Oliver from the Elks Club in the town of Rotterdam. And he's joining us today to give us a little bit of information about the Elks Club and the organization. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Angelo. Hello.
And maybe we could start off with tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Mel Oliver. I'm a past exalted ruler of Rotterdam Elks. I've been a member for about 10, 11 years and worked my way up through the chairs, becoming the exalted ruler back in 2009. And then right now I'm the state Americanism chairman for New York State Elks Association.
Excellent. And the Elks Club in the town of Rotterdam it has a distinction of being one of the largest or one of the fastest growing, or I know there's a stat that's
Rotterdam Lodge is the largest lodge in the state of New York, membership-wise. And nationwide, we're about 11th or 12th in the nation.
And in each area, I guess each town, I know there's several Elks Club. Each region, are they separated by regions, or do they have, I guess if someone wanted to find an Elks, would it be by town, or is there certain areas that has?
Well, there are over 2,000 Elks lodges in the country, okay? And they're broken. They're typically, each of your towns, your cities has a lodge. Some larger areas might have 2 or 3 lodges, and those lodges are combined into districts. So here in the New York State Capital Region, we have the State Capital District, which has 7 lodges in it, Rotterdam being one of them, Guilderland, Colony, Albany, Watervliet, Cobleskill, and Esperance being the others. So throughout the state of New York, we have over 120 lodges, are kind of grouped into 17 districts in the state.
So there's quite a few. Clubs, I guess, organizations to go to. So there's these Elks clubs, regional clubs in the area. So what? Tell us about the Elks. Why would we join? What do you stand for? Some of the community services that you're involved with.
Yep. Well, the Elks is a benevolent organization. It's, the BPEOE, they say it's the best people on earth, but it's benevolent. It's really around charity and fellowship in the community. We also do a lot of organizational things within the community, the charitable stuff like the Elks National Foundation, major projects, helping out the veterans. We have Americanism programs, but it's really focused on reaching out to the community and helping your community to push forth the efforts of patriotism, of Americanism, of supporting our veterans. Those are a lot of the big things that we do. And then helping out the youth as far as we have Americanism programs, we have essay contests, drug awareness programs for the kids. We have a scholarship program, the Elks National Foundation, which is a very large program that offers a lot of money. I mean, I would say they're basically second to the U.S. government in the amount of money that the Elks National Foundation hands out to students every year to help them get into college.
Now, and I'm a member of the Rotterdam Elks, and one of the things that I certainly I think is wonderful is all the parades that the Elks is involved with.
Right.
And on honoring on our Memorial Day and Veterans Day ceremonies that the Elks sponsors. The part of the community, I guess, becoming part of the community and making sure that these holidays are not forgotten, our veterans are remembered, is what's very important to me, and I think would be to other members of the community. Being the state Americanism chair, tell us what's involved with that.
As the state Americanism chair, I have 17 districts that I oversee the Americanism programs within. And the focus of the programs is in 3 areas. One, the kids in the community. How can we push forth Americanistic values and build those patriotic values within the kids. We do that through Americanism essay contests that we offer to children in grades 5 through 8, and they can compete in that contest. Then also, each of the lodges builds their own Americanism program. And this program, as you said, is around Memorial Day, Flag Day, Veterans Day, Pearl Harbor Day, really just pushing forth those values through the community. Going to local businesses where you see they may have a flag that needs to be retired and presenting them with a new flag. Going to helping out in different areas. We get new citizens in the country, helping bring those citizens into the country and teaching them the values of Americanism. So that's really what Americanism overall is about within the Elks. It's really just pushing forth. To become a member of the Elks, you have to be a U.S. citizen. That's one of the primary requirements. You have to be over the age of 21, and you have to believe in God. And those are, the three of the values that we really instill in the Elks and we push forth in the community.
Now, to be a member, if someone is interested, they would just find their local lodge and apply. Now, I've gone through it. You do need a sponsor, a member that's there,
right,
that was willing to sponsor you, and they could inquire, I guess, at the local lodge or on the website, www.nyselks.org. And I know I've been on the website. They got a nice little Elks locator that can find your nearest lodge. So they would go in and just ask for an application and kind of start the process. How long does the process take to become a member?
Right. Well, normally, a lot of times it's just as easy as asking a friend. A lot of times you may find that one of your friends is already an Elk,
right,
and they can help you through that process.
Yeah.
But the process is, again, as you said, you have a sponsor, one of your friends who wants to sponsor you to become an Elk. They present you with an application. That application is then submitted to your local lodge, and then your local lodge processes it, and it takes about a month for the process to be completed. You'll go through an interview, an initiation process, learn about the Elks, what it has to offer, where you can help out, and everything. And so about a month later, you go through your initiation, and you're now a member of the Elks.
These, we talked about the parades, we talked about the events. Do you have to be a member to be a part of these parades, a part of these events that are put on, or is it open to the public?
A lot of it is open to the public as far as these parades and events. When you look at events within the lodge, they are private organizations,
okay,
so you do have to be invited in, but members very often will invite their friends as
okay,
guests to attend parties at the lodge. Memorial Day parade, Veterans Day services, those are always open to the public.
Great.
The Flag Day parade is always open to the public, and we really encourage the public
Excellent.
to come out and join us in those events.
Great. The next thing we'll talk about, I guess you mentioned the Elks National Foundation, and I know they're involved with a lot of community activity. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. The Elks National Foundation, I kind of mentioned where it helps the youth as far as scholarships. Last year, the board for the Elks National Foundation got together and they approved appropriations for $23.6 million. Money that just gets handed back out to the community in various ways. Okay, let's back up though and say, how did the ENF start? Well, it was started by a couple people putting together a fund of $100,000, and that fund began to grow. Members can contribute money through donations into the fund, and then we also have fundraisers at the lodges to help build that fund up. Okay. The money, like I said, $23.6 million, then gets doled out to various areas in the community. One of them is the scholarship program, where we handed out $3.59 million in scholarships last year. Again, second only to the federal government in the amount of money we hand out. Veterans program. We have a strong veterans program where we hand money out for that. We have various grants, community grants. Let's say somebody wants to, get assistance from the Elks to refurbish a park. They can come to the lodge, they can apply for a grant, work with the NF team at the lodge. The lodge puts that into Grand Lodge, and then hopefully we get the grant up to $10,000 to help refurbish the park. So a lot of lodges use this money in various ways. That's over $6 million that goes back out into the community through these grants that the lodge has to offer.
Now, as far as the scholarships, is it the same sort of thing the school would have to approach, or does the Elks kind of reach out to different schools and colleges, or do they just kind of come to the lodge and say, hey, we'd like to be a part of this, or we'd like to have our students apply?
Yep, there are a couple different types of scholarships that ENF has. There's a Most Valuable Student Scholarship, and there's legacy scholarships. Some are open to any student. 12th grade, they can go online to elks.org and find out information. The lodges will typically drop the applications off at the guidance counselor's office, so the students can just go in the guidance counselor's office and get the information. There is another scholarship program, the legacy scholarships, where they have to apply online, and those ones are open only to students of a member. So there are a couple different categories, but the MVS scholarships, the highest level, $60,000 to a student. 2 students get that each year. So definitely worth going out there and trying for it.
And that certainly makes a difference in a student's life going forward.
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, it can really be the difference between a student being able to focus on their education or having to get a part-time job to help pay for their education. And that's really what our focus is to try to get them to focus on their education and not have to be worried about the monetary concerns.
And as far as students applying, you find that local students are applying, or is it something that the Elks promotes internally, or you have to reach out to the school, or are people aware that I guess they'll be aware when they watch the show, but are they aware locally? Is there some sort of...
I definitely think, yeah, through word of mouth, and I mean, we put it in our bulletin. The schools are very familiar with the program, so I think those kids really do learn around, about the program and its availability.
Well, that's
to
quite
them.
a bit of money in scholarships, and we certainly appreciate your involvement in the community. And I see some other programs here. One of the things that stands out is Hoop Shoot. Seems like something very fun. Maybe we could just mention what that's about.
If you can imagine a bunch of kids sitting in a room just shooting baskets, they get 25 shots.
Okay.
And it's amazing to see a 10-year-old hit all 25 shots.
Well, I know I couldn't.
It happens. I can't. But the Hoop Shoot program allows the local lodges they have the contest. The kids shoot baskets. The best person then advances to the district, then to the region, and eventually to the national level. And they get to go to Springfield, Massachusetts, to the Basketball Hall of Fame, and shoot baskets there. And the top one gets a nice scholarship to help them with college. So it's really neat.
A lot of fun, and there's certainly incentive to make those baskets.
Yep.
And more information about that on the website I see here. Again, the state website is nyselks.org, but
Correct.
there's also elks.org as well.
Which is the national website,
Which is the national website.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to take a little break and then come back and talk about a little more about the Elks Club.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
Close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires. If you're looking for a new pet that your family will cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
Okay, we're back. I'm Assembly Member Angelo Santabarbara, 1170 Riverfront Center, Amsterdam, New York, 12010. And phone number is 518-843-0227. Email santabarbara@assembly.state.ny.s. Welcome back, and we're here with Mel Oliver, past exalted ruler of the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks, Rotterdam Lodge, and also the State Americanism Chair for the Elks of the USA, and Rotterdam Lodge is 2157, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. We're going to back up just a little bit, and let's talk about the organization itself and how it came to be, how it got started. It certainly has an interesting history. Maybe we can just go back to its origins.
Sure. It goes back about 141 or so years. A few gentlemen got together in New York City. And decided they needed to, basically it was focused around social hour, getting together, the camaraderie, building up a little group. They were a bunch of actors in New York at that time, and then it went from there. They kind of developed a little club, a little organization. Then they officially started to work on chartering it and developing it. They had to, at the point had to decide what the name should be. It was voted upon, and Elks was chosen as that, and it went forth from there. The Elks has grown. Lodge 1 is still down in New York City.
Okay,
that's Lodge number 1, and then it started growing out to a lot of the major cities and then into the suburban areas over time. As I mentioned, it's about a little over 2,000 lodges now. A little under 1 million members right now.
And we talked about all the community involvement and all of the educational and patriotic activities that the Elks is involved with. One of the things, and I know being a member, I've come to a lot of the events. One of the things that I see on the calendar is something called Major Projects, which is very interesting. Maybe we can tell the audience about that.
Yeah, we talked about the Elks National Foundation. The Elks National Foundation is a national fund that the Elks contribute to. Each state has their own major projects fund. In New York State, our focus is on cerebral palsy. So each lodge has fundraisers, they have events where they raise money, and all of those profits of those events, the proceeds go to their major projects fund, which then wraps up into the state's major projects fund. So we raise over 400,000, 500,000 toward major projects each year. This money goes to CP of New York, and then they use it for their home visit, for the costs of home visit care and of their services, throughout New York State.
And the major, besides the major projects, I know, and I see the newsletter there. There's events through almost every month at the Rotterdam Club, and I'm sure at all the other clubs as well. All that money goes towards community and sponsoring veterans events. All that money is put right back into the community, and that's what's nice about those events. I know there's things throughout the month that we take a look at, and it's almost every time it's just a great activity, a great night, great food, and it's all for a good cause. So I just wanted to mention, if there's a chance that somebody wanted to have a night out or just be with some friends, it's all for a good cause, and we appreciate you sponsoring these events. Maybe we can talk about, just back up, I know we talked about applying, and in this day and age it's nice to be able to apply online. Is there a way for people to get on their computers and submit an application online?
Yep, there actually is now. About a year ago, the Elks introduced an online form. You can go to elks.org, and you can go online and you basically submit an inquiry form for membership. And you type in your contact information, the area where you live, the local lodge in your area, and that data gets submitted to the lodge secretary of the lodge within your area, who can then reach out to you and start that conversation to give you more information. So you can't actually apply online, but you can start that inquiry process, and then that gets the lodge involved in helping you to become a member.
It makes things a little easier, I guess. If people are looking for a local lodge, they can hit that locator. Again, that's www.nyselks.org. So we talked about past exalted ruler, which you served as, and the Elks has many officers that I've seen over the years. How is the structure set up? Can any member become an officer? How do they get involved if they are a member? Is there, maybe we can talk about how people can get involved in certain being chairs, or maybe becoming an officer, or becoming an exalted ruler.
Yep. Any member can become an officer. There are 7 chairs, as they call them, within each lodge. The exalted ruler, so the knights on downward. Some of those positions are appointed. Others are voted on by the membership of the lodge. So exalted ruler, for instance, you have to be voted on by the membership of the lodge to be the exalted ruler. That's within the lodge. Then outside the lodge you have structures. You have state vice presidents, you have committee members, you have district deputies, which are the representatives of the district to Grand Lodge. Grand Lodge is the national organization, and then each state has their state organization. So you have each state has a state president, and then the Grand Lodge has the Grand Exalted Ruler. So the structure, as you work your way through it, you can continue to work on. You can stop at any level. It really is the comfort of the members. I always say one of the nice things about being a member of Rotterdam Lodge, we have over 2,200 members, and a person can become a member and they don't have to be overly involved. They don't have to become an officer. You can choose your level of involvement. Some smaller levels do want the more participation. But,
and as the opportunities come, people can take advantage of those as throughout the year.
Exactly. And we've got a multitude of committees. I mean, we talked about Americanism and veterans, and we got youth activities, we got community activities, you've got the dictionary project. We talked about the hoop shoot there, but the dictionary project, we hand out dictionaries to all of the 3rd graders in the school districts. So Rotterdam Lodge, for instance, goes out and hands out dictionaries to all the 3rd graders in the 3 school districts that we have. Now,
for school to be involved with that, they just contact the lodge, or
the lodge actually contacts the schools.
that's
Yeah, we reach out to the schools and we say, hey, we've got a program we want to implement. We want to start it in, and get you guys involved in it.
Yeah, very impressive.
So it's really, we're reaching out to the community. I mean, that's one of our main purposes, is to help the community. And so we reach out to them to say, hey, we want to help you in this area or that area. Drug awareness. While we're working on the dictionary project, we're also working on drug awareness, helping the schools, press forth that message.
And I see also on the website here, youth recognition. You do recognize people throughout the year for achievements at the lodge, and I've been to some of those events, and some extraordinary people that it's very very nice that they are recognized by the lodge as well.
Yes.
As far as the Americanism part of the lodge, how did that get started? I guess the foundation and the principles of the lodge, how did that come to be?
But I would say it started really in the fact that the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks is distinctively American. That's right there in our obligation. And it started from that perspective of, we're distinctively American. We want to press forth the message of Americanism. Flag Day, the Elks were the primary energy behind getting Flag Day as a day of recognition on the calendar. So in that area of Americanism, we're really pushing forth to say, hey, let's look at the patriotic values. Let's press those forth into the community. Let's teach everybody what Americanism about, and build that pride in Americanism and patriotism within our community. So with that in mind, we build these different programs to support that. The essay contest, the brochure contest, other different things that we can do within the community. Flag Day celebrations, the different events, Memorial Day, Veterans Day,
And a lot of this stuff, and I'm looking down here, a lot of it is on the website, and it's very, very comprehensive in all these programs. And actually there's more that we haven't even mentioned, but there's more programs that the Elks is involved with in all parts of the community. So if you haven't visited the website, again, the national is www.elks.org, and the state is nyselks.org. You can learn more about the Elks and what they do. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, please do. And can people just visit the lodge if they haven't seen? Maybe they want to just come and take a tour or talk a little more in person. Can they come in, or do they?
Yeah, if they want to learn more about the Elks, again, as you mentioned, there's the 2 websites, but they can also call their local lodge and say that they're interested. Put forth that inquiry through the website. But ask a friend. I can guarantee you probably know 1, 2, 3, 4 people who are Elks, and ask them. They can bring you into the lodge. We have a lot of public events that we offer. People can come during those public events. A lot of times, like Memorial or Mother's Day breakfasts, Father's Day breakfasts that are open to the public. You can come into the lodge and then at that time learn about it. A lot of lodges also have membership drives. You can come in at those times. And
great. Well, thank you for sharing the information with us. Thank you for being on the show. We appreciate you being here. Join us next time here on Assembly Update. I'm Angelo Santabarbara, representing the 111th Assembly District, and we'll join you next time. Thank you.